Hi and welcome back to Wealthwise. In today's episode, we are going to be reviewing an MMF that most of you are interested in. This is Mali. Mali is a money market fund that is run by two individuals, Safaricom and Genghis Capital. Genghis Capital being the actual fund manager behind this fund. Now, we know that Safaricom was given a second approval to run or to operate a second money market fund called ZD, and we had reviewed ZD in our previous video. I shared with you the advantages of ZD, and I also shared with you the risk areas or the questions that we had about ZD that Safaricom is actually expected to answer, or I expect Safaricom to put its house in order. Now, there are two videos I have done on ZD, and I'm going to put a link in the description box so that you can have a look at it. It's quite important that you do have a look at it. Now, what is Mali MMF? Mali is a money market fund that was licensed to Safaricom by the Capital Market Authority, and it's being managed by Genghis Capital. Now, there are reports that there is a disagreement between Genghis Capital, the fund manager, and Safaricom, with Standard Investment Bank claiming to own the name Mali and Genghis Capital claiming to own the product Mali. I don't know how possible that is. Now, Safaricom went ahead and got an approval by CMA to launch ZD, and so it is alleged in today's paper. There is a report on today's paper that we are going to look at together that Genghis wrote a letter to Safaricom. And I quote, that Genghis wrote a letter to Safaricom saying that in part that in blatant breach of the commercial partnership agreement dated 26 October 2020, you refused to launch Mali, but discreetly proceeded to register ZD with other parties. Edward Washira, CEO of Genghis, said in a letter of December 3rd, seen by the Business Daily. We construe your acts and conduct as a business fraud. Failing to launch Mali exposes us to litigation arising from data breach being occasioned by yourselves out of the illegal migration and restriction of investor customers. Do you remember when I was reviewing ZD, I told you that Safaricom had migrated data from Mali to ZD. And I gave you a scenario where you are a client of KCB Bank and then your data is migrated to Cooperative Bank without your consent. That's exactly what Safaricom did. Though not to all Mali customers, but to the customers who joined Mali, like myself, who joined Mali in September. And a disclaimer, I am not doing this video on behalf of anybody. I am just a content creator who has made an observation. I am sharing my observation with you guys. I joined Mali in September and my data was migrated to ZD without my consent. And I think that was a breach of my rights as a consumer. As a disclaimer, I have absolutely nothing against ZD. I'm just sharing an observation of things that are just not looking so clear to me. I know as a consumer, I have a right to choose my service provider. As a consumer, as a client of Safaricom, I had a right to choose to give ZD my money to manage or to give Mali my money to manage. And I also have a right to choose both of them to manage my finances. But Safaricom deciding to lift my transactions from Mali and give them to ZD is a breach of confidentiality. I also think it's an abuse of my rights as a consumer, as a Safaricom consumer. Let's go ahead. Now, this Safaricom claims, Safaricom Response to ZD. This is a serious allegation. We retain our rights to pursue restitutive action against Genghis for these unfounded allegations. This is similar to our approach in providing credit products, where we have partnered with several banks to allow our customers the option to choose. Now, I am not a lawyer, but I am aware that Safaricom runs KCB. I'm aware that Safaricom runs KCB M-Pesa, and it also runs M-Shwari. M-Shwari is a product of NCBA. Yes, it is true that Safaricom has given these two banks the platform to run their credit facilities or their credit products. But have you ever transacted with KCB and found your transactions in M-Shwari? Have you ever transacted in M-Shwari and found that transactions, that statement that you're transacting in M-Shwari in KCB? I am not a lawyer, but you tell me, why would your M-Shwari transactions be made available to KCB? Something is not, it's not adding up here with the way Safaricom is transacting its business. And as I had said before, no one has paid me to put up these videos. I'm just sharing my observation. And I am a lay person. I have no lawyer. I have no legal knowledge. But I can tell that something is not right with how this thing is being run, yeah? All right. Now, Safaricom says that the platform, now this is Mali, has for a long time experienced instability resulting in numerous customer complaints, and we could not allow further customer onboarding. Okay. These challenges will not only expose Safaricom to reputational risk, but they could also potentially result in adverse regulatory and legal action for Safaricom and Genghis. Yes, it's okay for Safaricom to protect their clients, but I'm curious to know if you have been, if you invested in Mali, have you faced any challenges? Have you faced any challenges? What challenges were you facing with Mali? The challenges that I have seen with Mali is that for a long time it was blocked for new people, for new investors to join. Whether it was by design, I don't know, but it was blocked for new investors to join. So why does it look like there's a corporate war between, there's a cold war between the big market players, Safaricom and Genghis? What really was the cause of this? I don't know. And where does this leave us as investors of Mali? Now, at a personal level, I am unable to continue transacting businesses in Mali or investing in Mali because my transactions were moved to Zidi without my consent. Now, that puts Mali in a situation where it risks shrinking its fund level. As at the last report that I saw, Zidi had a fund base that was managing of, not Zidi, Mali. Mali had a fund base of 11 billion. Now, when Safaricom blocks or when new investors have been blocked from joining Mali, yet Safaricom argues that these two funds are going to be run concurrently on their platform, but as an investor, you have been blocked from joining Mali. It means that Zidi has been given an unfair advantage over Mali. New investors can join Zidi, but new investors cannot join Mali. However, those who had joined Mali before can continue transacting in Mali. So it's putting Mali in a position where it risks its funds shrinking because it's not having new clients. What happens when those who are already invested in Mali withdraws their funds? Because, I mean, it's an MMF. It's a money market fund. It's highly liquid. Funds are easily accessible. You just go into your phone and withdraw the money. What happens when the 11 billion is withdrawn or part of them grows? Status quo, the growth of Mali has been stunted. It's growing that fund is likely to be a challenge for Mali and Safaricom, given that it's a collective investment scheme. I don't know how this is going to end, but I will continue to share with you how this unfolds. And a disclaimer again, I have not been paid by anyone to do this video. I am sharing my observation at a personal level as an investor of both Mali and Zidi, formerly Mali, who has now been shifted against my will to Zidi. If it was left to me, I would have wished to run both funds at the same time so that I can spread my risk as an investor and so that I can also maximize my return. By the way, I asked one of my followers which one would they prefer, and they said that Mali has better returns. Who does not want to earn better returns? But because mnyonge hana chake, ours will just be to observe, and I will keep updating you. And before I finish the video, today I have been dressed. I am lucky to have been dressed by Nana Threads. I'll leave their contacts in the comment section so that you can have a look at it. If you need to change your wardrobe, you can give them a try.